Hello and welcome back. Thursday evening, almost 7:30. Sourcing video. Got back at probably 4:30. Something to eat, relax, watch a couple videos, cool down in here. So video time. Actually, it's pretty good for the local. I did not go to. I don't remember where I said I was even going to go. Like the transportation that area. I did look back at my calendar and I did stop there like 8 days ago, so 9 days ago. So that would be too close a time frame for me to head back to that entire swath of stores. So I went down to the BOA in Willoughby or Wycliffe, and then to the Savers right up the road. And since I got quite a bit at the VOA, I did not go to the Goodwill, and then the Savers is right beside the Goodwill. So to keep this video shorter, let's go and find out what I got. All right, so to start, it was $11.90 at BOA, and there was a lot of 99-cent stuff, and everything is all this pink tag, which just came out 8/14, 8/13, right? All right, so let's kind of start here. These Warby Parker frames are called Ducksworth. And yeah, kind of surprising what these ones are. They're 70 to $100. That's why I pick frames. That's why I like them. And these eagle eyes, which were kind of a thing like maybe the early 2000s for maybe 10, 12 years. They may still make them, I don't know. But they're called eagle eyes. And they have like a polarizing look to it, to where makes things easier to see at night and fishing and things like that. But these are only like 30, $35. So the stack of DVDs are going to be pretty much in value order, and they're all new, I believe. Well, there's a game in here that is not new. All right, so that's about $15. All these other ones are going to be 20, except I think this tripping. A couple. I'll just do this. All right, so that is 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus. This is the not for sale, so this barcode is 000, a whole bunch of zeros. They vary, but still right around $20, and it was $1. Look at that right there. I think this one's closer to 25. So sold on scan come up, like the highest was like 22. I hand typed this with Rogue. Let's say Echo, but hand typed this in Rogue in Terapeak, and it can get up to 40. It'll probably be listed, give or take. But the title does sell quite a bit, to where I won't have a problem getting rid of it for in that mid 30 range. And same kind of story with this, except for a little lower. This is more likely to sell within 3-4 months if I wanted to hit 30, but it's more likely high 20s. Usually don't find Bibles for $1, so I typically wouldn't buy it. It is a chain reference Bible by Thompson, red letter edition, KJV, gold gilt, indexed. And I don't think that the dedication page has been touched. I don't think it even has one. No, I don't think it has one. Yep, so it's clean. And this is a 61st printing from 1964. These are anywhere from 30 to $40. So this is a little heavier book. It is a $40, pretty much a $40 book, and to pay $1, and after fees and shipping and stuff. So if it sells for 40, that's going to be 6. Shipping is going to be probably another 6. That's 12, 13. Uh, with all fees and shipping for something that might sell for around, so even if I go 15, it's still $25 total net on it, and they do sell pretty quick. You can use your back door. I was talking to another one of the kitties, Monkey. Hey, Monkey. She was at the front window, but the back door's open. All right. We have these Ray-Ban, I think it 47, I'm not even going to bother, 3217, I think. So they're a slightly shaded out lens. They're not sunglasses, but still these are like 25, 30 bucks. They do sell pretty quick. These interesting, oh, those are filthy. These interesting pieces right here are called, I forgot. Phone site. When you deal with finer print stuff on frames and sunglasses, and sometimes even DVDs and CDs and stuff, you want to be able to make sure, get yourself a magnifying glass. This is one of those. But it is called Cazal. Cazal. C as in cat. A Z as in zebra. AL. And these are made in Germany. And there's some other markings on here that I couldn't make out. I'm trying to see if I can. That way I know when I go to list these or run them through the dishwasher, it's not going to completely take any of that off. However, so these I just typed in Cazal, however it's spelled, in Germany, and just hit sold. The minimum sold for just Cazal in Germany is like 50, 60 bucks. Scrolled down a little, found these like a gold, and you can look at these. If you were to do the same search and go price lowest first and start going down, you're going to find these exact ones. The first listing that I saw that sold is recent, but at the price lowest first was like 75 bucks. I didn't bother looking to see if there were more sold, because for $2 for a minimum recent sold for 75, I'm going to buy them. Not quite sure if that's like harsh scuffing, but that's why, and you probably can't. You might be able to see, is like those lenses are, actually it's an entire solid piece. It goes all the way across. And then there's screws right here and on the other side that you could take this entire lens assembly off. So for the one that I saw that's 75, yeah, I'll buy it. So this is another one of those examples that there's a country on here. You can see that. Right here, it should be. That's other than China, right? So Germany, yeah, very interesting. And I don't know why people buy these old ones. They may be opticians or maybe just be regular frame collectors. I list it. If you pay me, I'll ship it. Oh, yes. So Saver's total was $20, and I used it 20% off. So it was 20 bucks. Real Housewives, it's about 25. That one's sealed. So I bought the 5 books. You scan 5 books at the checkout. You scan 5 books, you get the 5th one, cheapest one free. These were all $2.99. This one I did put back, then I counted it in my cart. I was like, oh, I've got 4 books. Let's go get this one. This one does sell. I do have one currently listed. It might be a different year. But a lot of these, to the priest ladies, this exact one. There's another one that has like a a lady right here, not like this. It's like a guy standing right here and a lady right here. Those are a little more. This one, so it's like this Pope John, I don't know which one it is, would be on the front, and then there'd be like a woman standing right here. So this is the 12th printing from 1991. So this one essentially was free. Since I put it back, I'm like, well, if I scan 5 books, I get one free. There we go. And then 20% off. So 5 books, 3 times 5 is 15, got one for free is 12. And then the 20% off would be pretty much $2.50. So 12 from $2.50 means I spent $2 a book, right? And for, well, it'd still be $2 for it, regardless if I didn't pay either way. Inuyasha, I'm going to assume that's what it is, about 25, $30. I think it's a little less. On these, I try again. If you're new here, I try to remember what it was. If I have something that's here, and if I say it's like it's a $12, $15 item, there's that. But for the most part, everything else is going to be minimum of right about at that $20 range, what they are more likely to sell for. And I do free shipping. Usually, I'll say I do free shipping in my sold videos, but I figure I say it now since I'm explaining all that. This one, probably should have looked this up again, but this one I want to say it's like $50, $60. This one, again, with the exact image matching, there are other variations of this book that have sold. This is a 1986. However, in paperback, this exact cover are anywhere from $80 to $100. This, I was talking with that guy Mark. I brought it up a couple times. He's a frequenter. He really doesn't go online or anything. I was talking. I was like, well, I don't know what. Oh no, I was talking to another guy, Ron. He was there. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely interesting enough. It kind of reminds me of something that would be out locally out here. We had something called Goulardi and Son of Ghoul. I brought that up a couple times, and I think that's what this was maybe like a local radio or TV station that played different horror movies and stuff. And so just chiller theater DVD, although you think those are pretty common words, if you type that in, there's not a lot of results that come up, and it's going to be these. And there's different variations and different episodes that are out there, and they could vary anywhere from $20 to like $50. On a average good day, this DVD, standalone, no insert, no booklet, no nothing, is $80 to $100. Best of Chiller Theater, Terror Peak, price highest first, used, $80 to $100. $3. All right, Ursula Gwynn, I'm gonna guess. A lot of her, I have sold some of her stuff before. This is a library bind, and there is a. I'm going here. You can see this is how they call it. Hunt with 2 T's. Hunting bound. So it's a library bind. And typically you're just gonna know it's a library bind. So this is the first edition, 1968. I want to say is what it was. Yeah, 1968. It is a first edition. First edition of this book is not gonna. It's gonna have this graphic, but it's gonna be a little different. Are anywhere from $100 to $200. That's a real kind of embellished number because they have varied, and that's just in 90 days. I didn't go to Terror Peak. With this exact look, it's different. So someone who's looking for a 1968 version of this book, as opposed to the exact one, the original printing and not a library bind, this could be a little less. It could be $60 or it could be $200. I didn't do any Terror Peak on it. Most likely with the library binds, they're not going to be that much. They're going to be less, but not all the time. Because I sold that carry, that small library bind carry one. And that year, that hardcover is only like $15, but that carry one I sold for $45 because it's a complete different bind, different look, different color, different graphics, so on and so forth. But otherwise, I'm going to say this is maybe $80, give or take. Again, when I go to listing books, figure that out more then. Hey now, hey now. The Edge. And no, it's not a really cool radio station. And no, it's not a really cool drummer from U2. This, which, well, you kind of see on how some of that moisture started there. And then you go in here, see some of it starting there. This, strangely, because I saw the sports names on here, and then there are some more back here. I forget which one was the other one that I saw. I don't remember much of it. I know I saw Pete Rose and some of these other ones. However, you have enough just looking at it to pique my interest. I'm like, well, what is this? And that's going to be, type in The Edge in books and see how many that come up. So obviously you had to use the last name, which is Ferguson, and then narrowed it down to Howard Ferguson. I don't know. Now here's the conundrum part. Not really conundrum. Here's the kind of interesting part. So this is The Edge, written and published by Howard E. Ferguson, wrestling coach, athletic director for St. Edward High School, Lakewood, Ohio. So Lakewood is the Avon, so it's west side. So when I go to Avon, I go right through Lakewood. So why does probably retired now, this is from, I mean, if it mentions Pete Rose in it, it's going to be from the 80s. 1982, second printing. So why is a high school coach from Lakewood, Ohio, which is, I mean, fairly affluent, well, I don't know how it was now 40 years ago, but why, on the bread and butter sale, but why would a book like this, when I go into Terapeak, because there weren't currently listed, I don't think that there are any sold, or I just knew that it was going to be something that would have to go to Terapeak because there weren't any currently listed. So I went into Terapeak. Why is this a $100 book? I'm just curious on why it is a wrestling coach from a west side of Cleveland high school from 40 years ago. Why is it an $80 to $100 book? Beats me, but I bought it. So for we'll just go 12, make that easy. Yeah, 12 and 20, $32. 100, 350, 450, 550, easy 11, going to be at least another 20. 200, 550, 750, 800 would be pushing it for 4 hours. Stayed local, spent $30 for 800 listable. Works for me. All right. Look what you heard, look what you saw, look what you learned. Oh shit. Forget about these. All right, so where was I at? I'm going to stay conservative, 750. Those are 30. What was the other ones that were 30? Say, I don't remember where I'm at. 8. $1,000 is going to be a little high up there. But since I have only so many characters in the title, it would be 900 plus. All right, we'll go with that. So, like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned. Thumb me, comment, sub, share. They all help. Appreciate it.